I've seriously like been thinking like if I have a kid down the line, like, am I really gonna put that kid in school, like, or am I gonna homeschool the kid? Because like honestly, like I don't want a child to go through like these kind of toxicities going on, and then to and I don't want them to be brainwashed and confused as coming here, like coming back home all confused. Like I don't want that for them, and it's just overwhelming. Also, like I don't know. Let's just see how it
I
goes.
think
But
I'm not going to do a plugin for my workspace, but I am in the education sector, and there's been no better time
Is
to
the
have
plugin?
international. No, I'm not mentioning any names. I'm not mentioning just online education for to a great extent, because back in the day when we were children, at least even not back in the day, I think even the 2000s, homeschooling was not easy. You had to find the right tutor, get the right amount, figure out the logistics of it all. There's a lot of things to figure out. You don't even have online systems back then. But now I think the technology and the efforts of a lot of edtech companies, I think India is becoming the grounds for edtechs, right? I think there are over 500 edtechs in India right now, and the efforts of these individual edtechs, even though if they may all have different philosophies, it provides us people, average humans, a choice in the matter. Like if you choose to kind of homeschool your children, there are fantastic options out there. In Bangalore, I know Vedantu. I work for another company. There are Khan Academy, which provides free education and stuff like that. And I think now more than ever, if you actually want to take up what do you say, homeschooling for your children, there are legitimate options out there. And the more progress the edtech space makes, it will become more legitimate, and more of the offline old school forms of education that we are more attuned to, or what we would officially consider more credible, will have to kind of align with them. Because so far, edtechs had to align with these credible sources like NCERT, CBSE, ICSE for India, and so many other international what do you say, syllabi, right?
yeah,
But now the growth of the edtech sector is such that these credible sources will become like NASA. I think it's a great analogy of that. NASA was the pioneer for space exploration. You could not do anything without NASA's consent. How NASA did is the way to go about it. But NASA strategically moved away from that. They stopped doing. They're still doing a lot of things, but they're trying to align themselves and become that sort of a moderator for a lot of these booming other industries or other platforms that are coming up in the space exploration stage. And I think that's what's going to happen in edtech as well. These credible sources will become more aligned with edtech spaces, and we will definitely, I can assure you, have a lot of pretty good homeschooling options. If I ever have a kid, if I'm in India, homeschooling is the way that I will put them through. I will not put them through a school because I don't trust the infrastructure in this country, the offline infrastructure at least.
but you know what? Like I would say, like although I agree with you regarding edtech and its direction and its benefits, right? Like, man, kids should grow up with kids too. They should like you two grew up in school together, right? And look at where you are right now, right? Like I want that for kids too, right? Right. That's the only
I
That's
think
drawback.
that's
exactly
that's
what
what
I
I'm
was
saying.
gonna say.
Uh,
That was exactly
actually,
what I was
that's
gonna
what
say.
there are going to be options like that. You may not be able to go to a school where you will meet students who come from say 20, 30, 40 kilometers away, because that's the kind of schooling we used to. I remember in my school, I think it covered a radius of at least 20 to 30, 40 kilometers across the city that I lived, and just students just fucking poured in from everywhere. I think it will be very difficult for homeschooling infrastructures to kind of mimic that, but what it will try to mimic is try to connect kids in the local sphere, maybe at a 10-kilometer radius. Wherever your child is within 10-kilometer radius, they will have the opportunity. Homeschooling will not just be a child sitting with a computer or with a teacher anymore. The modern form of homeschooling, which I personally work on, is going to be a lot more flexible. This thing that children need to grow up with children is very, very important. Maybe it will be very different from how we did it, but I don't think it will be a condition that will be overlooked, because I personally, as an educator, as someone who works in the industry, will never kind of let that happen. Something I strongly stand by. Children should grow up with children, and they should have that sort of exposure as well. So I personally don't think it's going to be a much bigger of an issue, but definitely it'll be different from what you and I know and feel about schooling. It'll be a very different picture.
See, that goes back to the whole thing. The problem with this whole homeschooling culture and how much ever advanced online education is going to be, right? One of the major issues with that is what we can't control our students or kids in a way where they become socially awkward in the future, right? Now, for example, imagine all of us were sitting at home in front of a screen talking to each other, and that's the only interaction that we had with each other for the rest of our lives, right? And a point comes where you have to actually meet the human being in front of you. How would you be able to, how would you act, right? Like sitting on this chair and talking to you guys is a different ball game than actually meeting you guys, talking to you guys face to face, right?
Yep.
So all these acquired social skills is going to be diminished. On top of that, one thing I hate in today's culture, especially when it comes to parenting, the new generation parents and all, one thing I've noticed, like, first of all, yes, there are some parents who are doing it right. I'm not saying there are no parents who are not doing it right, but then there's this whole new phone culture where they give the phone to the kid, go watch some cartoon on YouTube, and that's it. Don't bother me, right? Imagine our parents had done that to us. Imagine the
Uh,
imagine a time where we didn't have 5 p.m. going out, calling your friends from the neighborhood, going and knocking on the doors, and what you say saying, Auntie, can this Linoy come out to play? Auntie, can Hatim come out to play? Auntie, or your friends, Auntie, can Advait come out to play? Imagine that scenario where you didn't have that. Do you
Yeah.
think you would be socially developed right now as the human being you are right now if you didn't have all those things in your life? And now all I see is kids. That's it.
No, I think what the
What?
difference was in our time, let's say in the 90s and 2000s, socializing was not a thing to really like make a thing about. Where now,
worry about.
yeah, where now
Yeah.
today it's like, okay, we need to allocate socializing time for a child. It's like that right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fun. That's so fucking true.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so
Actually,
sad, man.
so
yeah,
I will again come back to this on twofold. A, the first fold where you mentioned that what if our parents had done this to us. The 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 what do you say? Final observations is that what our parents did and what we will do to our kids in a digital what do you say future will not be very different. It's really kind of difficult to wrap your heads around it. But it is something that we realize it's not going to be different. It's going to be the same thing. It's just that time would have passed and technology would have increased, but the parent-student involvement, it will remain pretty much the same. That's sadly the hard truth that we have kind of seen at the end of a lot of research. And the second thing, and I think this is a very, very prevalent discussion. I think I actually was kind of having a conversation with someone about this. Gen Z, Gen X, future gens, will they be better at having virtual, what do you say, interactions with other human beings, or will they be, or even if they do become like incredibly good at having virtual relationships more than what we are. We are people who kind of grew up in the old school fashion. I remember a time before dial-up modems. If I wanted to talk to you, I had to come face to face and talk to you. But we've come a very long way in
Landlines.
just
Landline.
landlines.
yo.
I
On
mean,
a,
I
on
swear.
a side note, I can hear the dial-up connection right now in my head, dude.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
but yeah, but you have to imagine that was just 20 years ago. It wasn't like a lifetime ago, it's just 20 years ago. And I think our generation is going to be like that keystone, that generation that did the transition. Every other generation will be born into the transition phase. Our parents had to transition very late in their lives. My parents even now struggle to kind of get their what do you say minds around some of the more common things that we have, like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that. WhatsApp, for a lot of features of WhatsApp are alien to them. But look at us. We've become like we're living in at least me and Advait, who are in the country, we've been living in this virtual world for the past 2 years. We haven't had physical what do you say interaction with a lot of people, and we're getting by. And we are actually adapting pretty well to it. So I think what will happen is very weird, and I think kind of brings back to what it said. Will they be able to handle social interactions at a physical level? And I'm not talking like the nasty
Yeah.
stuff. I'm just talking like literally meeting two friends and going out for drinks. I think there's one episode in How I Met Your Mother kind of touched upon this in a very How I Met Your Mother manner. It's this episode where they kind of remember a time where there was no cell phones and they would just sit around and talk and stuff. And then the time of cell phones came and they still sit around and talk, but everyone's on their phones.
Yeah.
And I think that is sadly going to be a version of what we will work with. I don't think that's the thing. I don't think virtual what do you say connections are bad or less charming or less effective than physical connections. I mean, one-on-one personal connections. But I think it'll be a future that we will have a tough time kind of getting our heads around, just as much as our parents are having a tough time getting their heads around the advanced features of Instagram. They don't know what a reel is. We will not know what our kids' social circles or social structures are, because they will kind of function really well in it. They will get all their conversations going. They'll have more chances of communication than ever before. But we will be old by then. We'll be in our 50s, and we'll be like, "Arey, bachche, kya kar rahe ho? Huh? How? What is this? Put that phone down." We're like, "Daddy, mommy, shut up. You don't know what I'm talking about. This is how we live." And I think that's going to be the case, because we will not be able to wrap our heads around their reality. And I think their reality will be just as good as ours, because if we go back and tell our grandparents about having cell phones, having podcasts, talking one-on-one discussions, having debates with 3, 4 people in front of a laptop and not in person, it will not work out for them. They just absolutely will not be able to wrap their heads around it. And I think it's just going to be a thing of generation gap, but we will kind of get through, and I think things will be fine. We will eventually make babies physically, that will happen. So I think even the virtual connection itself will only transcend to a certain point, post which there will be one-on-one personal interactions that can't be avoided, because we are physical beings. We haven't transitioned into those transcended digital beings.
It's just sad, dude. Call me old-fashioned, but it's just sad.
I mean, that's exactly what my grandparents as well said, right?
Like,
I
no,
mean,
but then
the
again,
whole.
look, but then again, like when I speak to my dad and everything, when I speak about how his childhood was and everything, on an basic elementary level, his childhood and my childhood didn't very much. Like, he used to go out with his friends. I go out with my friends. He used to go out in the evening to play football with his friends. I used to go out in the evening to play basketball and football with my friends. You know, that elementary level of thing was there. It was not the major concern for us is that, oh, we need to sit online and play games, or we need to be on our phone 24/7, right? There was this disconnect from technology. Even when we had technology advancement throughout our ages, we did have that moment of disconnect from technology, and where we were going out, interacting with people. We gave priority for that 2 hours of playing basketball in the hot sun rather than sitting in GameNet and playing Battlefield. You know what I mean? So, but that is not there today. We used to play Battlefield for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. You know that. You, me, we used to sit in GameNet. We used to bunk school, go play games in this gaming center. What do you say, for 6, 7 hours straight, and post that we used to go hit our basketball practice sessions. You know, that's a different
But no,
story altogether.
like I
But the
said, like I
whole
said,
point is
like I
we
said.
had that balance, you know. But today I see this priority given to new gadgets and this whole virtual life. I'm like, I don't see that whole interaction of going out and doing stuff like that. So that's kind of sad. That's all.
I mean, I want to hear what Abid has to say, but I'll end saying this. As long as COVID is kind of taken care of, the future will always have a physical component to it, just because of the fact that we are physical beings. We are not digitized systems or consciousness running inside a mainframe or something like that. We are physical beings. We have unavoidable physical requirements. Sports. I can't assure you that our kids will be able to hang out the same way we used to hang out. Remember the shisha days, Wajid? But I think that component I can't really vouch for it, but sports, doing competitive stuff, physical competitive, any activity, competitive activity like sports, music, concerts, stuff like that, where the physical presence is required. I think they will have that opportunity. It will be very different. Again, it's not a future that can be correlated to our fathers. Like you said, you and your father can relate to each other at some level, right? Similarly,
Yeah.
you and your son will also be able to kind of relate, or your daughter will be able to relate at some point in terms of this digital transformation. It's just that between I mean, 3 generations, the first and the third will not be able to relate.
Will not
I
be
think
able
that's
to.
the
Yeah.
understanding. Otherwise, what do you have to say, man?
No, I mean, like, see, look, in terms of human beings and interaction, that's always going to be there. There's no escape from that, okay? I mean, like, I think my only concern is from a point of view, right? From a children's perspective, like, are they going? If they're homeschooled, then there needs to be a method or something in place for them to at least know how to like socialize with other kids. Because if they
Yeah.
don't, like honestly, like today, right now, like when I work and when I talk to clients and all that, right, and I deal with all kinds of various clients and all that. Apart from my work experience, right, a lot of the interactions I dealt with in school, like when it comes to like the bullies to the nice people to the softies and all that, like I
Yeah,
learned how to deal with those dynamics in school, so I know how to deal with them, in my work, right? So it really
Yeah.
translates from that stage to the next stage in your life, right? So I don't want kids to
true
really
that, true, true.
miss out on that, because you experience so much, you learn a lot when you're a child, right? And you really start for, it's a building block. In the end of the day, you do build a lot of these blocks in your head at a young age, and I just don't want them missing out, so that when they get into the real harsh, cruel world, I don't want them to see up, basically. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I know. Let me just try to do some story looping over here. It kind of comes back to our initial point, right? I think that is where exactly digital companies like Clubhouse will come into play, where people get to just fuck around verbally with other people in a digital space. Because even though, like, exactly taking the point that you mentioned, Advait, definitely the physical aspect of bullying is something that is very difficult to experience,
yeah,
and I mean, no one should experience it, but
yeah.
even when you're even the person who's the victim or the bullier, there is a physical component to it. I think at that point, that physical component will be reduced, but there will be bullying. That we are very well know how intense cyberbullying can be, and I think our children will or our next generations will be more capable of dealing with the cyberbullying than physical bullying. But at the same time, I think the physical component can kind of be offset by how parents come into the picture. I think parents will definitely have to step up the way. I mean, parenting has worked flawlessly for 1,000 years because the paradigm itself never changed. It's a non-digital world. You keep doing the same thing again and again. I think my father, his father, his father, his father, his father, they've all kind of had the same paradigm. We are that very tricky generation, I would say, from the 1980s to 2010, 2000, even 2020, even the people being born just now who will have kids in the next 50 years, how we parent our children, because we have to be very conscious about this. We have to be very conscious about the fact that our children will not have these physical exposure to such things, and us being those people who've had this exposure will have to offset for it, because we can teach. That's the best part about children. Children are like a completely empty glass made of clay. You can shape it however you want and fill it with whatever you want. And parenting will play such a key role in how the next generation comes up, because it's never been more trickier. It's never been more lucrative, and it's never been more challenging to be a parent. And I think fingers crossed. I think all of us in this generation are. I think we are at a point where we have been the most inclusive generation of all time. I mean, I'm not generation, a few generations put together, the closer, when millennial, Gen Z, Gen X, and stuff like that. We are the most inclusive generation of humans that have ever existed, and I think we will make good progress. I don't think our children will not escape the effects. Definitely our children will parent their children in a much better way than we would be able to do it, because they would be more acclimated to the paradigm that is kind of going to happen. Because the digital thing is going to stay for a while, right? The biggest change between our generation and the previous generations is that the whole digital thing came up, and from here on out, the digital thing will always be there as long as there's no fucking like D-Day shit or some apocalypse event happens. The digital thing will always happen, and our kids will be able to better navigate through it than we are able to nowadays.
Yeah.